Hey art lovers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the wild, colorful, and sometimes mind-blowing world of Jean-Michel Basquiat, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. His art, it's raw, it's real, and it's fetched some insane prices at auction. In this video, we're counting down the highest prices ever paid for Basquiat's work. But more than that, we're going to explore the man behind the canvas. What made his art so powerful and why it still captivates the world. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's jump in. Before we talk dollars, let's talk about Jean-Michel. Born in Brooklyn in 1960 to a Haitian father and Puerto Rican mother, Basquiat was a creative force from the start. As a kid, he was drawing everywhere, on paper, on walls, even in his mom's copy of Grey's Anatomy, which later inspired his obsession with skulls and skeletons. By his teens, he was out in New York's gritty streets, tagging buildings with his friend Al Diaz under the name Samo, short for same old. Those cryptic messages like Samo saves idiots were his first rebellion against a world he saw as unjust. But Basquiat wasn't just a street artist, he was a poet, a musician, a thinker. He soaked up everything: jazz, history, black culture, and the pain of being a young black man in America. When he started painting, he poured all of that onto the canvas. His work was loud, chaotic, and unapologetic, blending crowns, skulls, and words that hit you right in the gut. Sadly, his life was cut short in 1988 at just 27, but his art, it's immortal. And the prices it commands today, they're a testament to his genius. So why do Basquiat's paintings sell for millions? It's not just because they're pretty, though, let's be real, they're stunning. His work speaks to identity, race, power, and struggle in a way that feels just as urgent now as it did in the 80s. Collectors, billionaires, and museums fight over his pieces because there aren't many out there. Basquiat's career was short and his output was finite. Plus, his story resonates. He went from homeless street kid to art world superstar, rubbing shoulders with Andy Warhol and Madonna, all while staying true to his voice. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the record-breaking sales. These are the top 5 highest prices ever paid for Basquiat's art at auction, and trust me, the numbers will blow your mind. Number 5, Dust Heads. Coming in at number 5 is Dust Heads, sold for $48.8 million at Christie's New York in May 2013. This painting is pure Basquiat energy, 2 wild skeletal figures against a neon explosion of color. The title, Dust Heads, likely nods to drug culture, a theme Basquiat wrestled with personally. It's raw, almost chaotic, but that's what makes it so gripping. Back in 2013, this sale set a record for Basquiat, and the auctioneer called it a sign of a new era in the art market. What's human about this piece? It's like Basquiat was screaming his fears and frustrations onto the canvas. He wasn't afraid to show the messy, painful sides of life. And that vulnerability is why people connect with his work. 48.8 million might sound insane, but for a painting that feels like a window into his soul, you start to get why it's worth it. Number 4, El Gran Espectaculo, The Nile. At number 4, we have El Gran Espectaculo, The Nile, which fetched $67.1 million at Christie's in May 2023. This massive triptych from 1983 is one of Basquiat's history paintings, diving into the black diaspora with references to Egypt, slavery, and survival. It's packed with symbols, boats, crowns, and words like Nile scratched into the paint. When it sold, it sparked a 5-minute bidding war, with the hammer finally dropping to an anonymous buyer. This painting hits hard because it's Basquiat reclaiming history. He was only 23 when he made it, yet he was wrestling with centuries of oppression and resilience. Imagine being that young, carrying that weight, and turning it into something this powerful. That's what makes his art timeless and worth every penny of that $67.1 million. Number 3, Untitled, 1982, Horned Devil. Number 3 is another Untitled from 1982, featuring a horned devil figure, which sold for $85 million at Phillips, New York in May 2022. This one's huge, over 16 feet wide, and it's got that raw graffiti-style energy Basquiat was known for. The devil figure feels like a self-portrait, maybe Basquiat grappling with fame or inner demons. It was bought by Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa in 2016 for $57.3 million, then flipped 6 years later for a massive profit. What's so human here? This painting captures Basquiat at a turning point. He was becoming a star, but fame came with pressure. You can feel him wrestling with that in the jagged lines and bold colors. 85 million reflects not just the art, but the story of a young man trying to make sense of his place in the world. Number 2, In This Case. Coming in at number 2 is In This Case from 1983, sold for $93.1 million at Christie's, New York in May 2021. This is one of Basquiat's iconic skull paintings, part of a trilogy that obsessed him. The skull looms against a blood-red background with jagged lines that feel almost alive. It came from the collection of Valentino co-founder Giancarlo Giametti, and when it hit the auction block, it nearly doubled its $50 million estimate. This piece is haunting because it's so personal. Basquiat was fascinated by mortality, maybe because he sensed his own time was short. He painted this at 22, pouring his fears and brilliance into every stroke. When you see it, you don't just see a skull, you see Jean-Michel's heart. $93.1 million? It's a small price for that kind of raw honesty. Number 1, Untitled, 1982, Skull. And here we are, the number 1 spot. The highest price ever paid for a Basquiat is $110.5 million for Untitled from 1982, sold at Sotheby's, New York in May 2017. This massive skull painting is a masterpiece, a black skull against a blue backdrop, layered with spray paint and oil stick. It hadn't been seen publicly since 1984, when it was bought for just $19,000. Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa snapped it up, calling it a masterpiece that gave him so much excitement. This painting broke records as the most expensive work by an American artist at the time. Why? It's peak Basquiat. Bold, haunting, and full of his signature mix of rage and beauty. It's like he's staring death in the face and saying, "I'm still here." That's what makes it worth $110.5 million. Not just the paint, but the soul behind it. So what do these crazy prices tell us? That's it for today's deep dive into the highest prices paid for Jean-Michel Basquiat's art. What do you think? Would you drop $110 million on a Basquiat? Or maybe you're just inspired by his story. Let me know in the comments below, and if you loved this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more art stories. Until next time, keep chasing creativity, and I'll see you in the next one.